There's a split second, a fleeting moment of choice when someone throws shade your way, questions your motives, trashes your character, or challenges your worth. In that instant, most people do what feels natural. They leap to their own defense. That's not what I meant. You're reading me wrong. I'm not that guy, let me clear this up. It sounds fair, even honorable, but to Niccolo Machiavelli, that's the exact moment you fumble the ball. By defending yourself, you're flashing weakness. In the high-stakes game of influence, perception is the whole deal. Show a flicker of doubt and they don't see a victim. They smell blood. This is the stone-cold truth Machiavelli figured out way before his time. The person who scrambles to explain loses ground. The one who stays cool, they force the world to scramble for them. Let's be real. Defending yourself rarely changes minds. What it does is hand over the keys. When you start explaining, you're playing their game, buying into their frame, and quietly admitting, yeah, you get to judge me. And just like that, they own the story. Even if you're in the right, you look guilty. Why? Because rushing to set things straight screams insecurity. The heavy hitters? They let the silence hang heavy, watching the accusation float like a bad vibe, knowing the real power move is this: flip it back. Make the accuser second-guess themselves, paint them as overly emotional, obsessed, or straight-up unhinged. The one who talks first often loses the plot, and Machiavelli knew that whoever controls the plot controls the win. People jump to defend because they crave being understood. They think if they just explain enough, repeat enough, lay it all out, they'll get a nod of approval. But that urge comes from emotional soft spots, not cold, hard strategy. You don't need approval. You need control. Approval is for therapy sessions. Control is for winning. And winning doesn't come from being gotten. It comes from being feared, respected, untouchable. So when someone calls you arrogant, shady, selfish, or manipulative, and your first impulse is, no way, that's not me, you've got it twisted, you've already tripped. Now you're reacting. Now you've shown you care. Now they've got the upper hand. And with that, you lose your sharpest Machiavellian edge: mystery. Think of the most powerful people you've met. Not the loudmouths, not the crowd pleasers. The ones who wielded silence like a loaded gun. The ones whose stare alone made you rethink your life. The ones who, when attacked, didn't flinch. Machiavelli would say, the guy who explains bends the knee. The one who stays quiet, they make others fill in the gaps, and those gaps make them larger than life. That's the play. Hold back your response and you shake them. They start doubting their own words, they look for backup and find none. Suddenly their swagger fades while yours grows because you've done what emotional folks can't handle. You let them stew in their own headspace. Let's go deeper. You walk into a room, could be a meeting, a party, a showdown. Someone lobs a jab, subtle or in your face. Maybe they poke at your success, your attitude, your past. All eyes are on you, waiting for your comeback. Your move? Nothing. No defense, no counterattack, no smirk. Just calm, unshakable presence. In that moment, you're bulletproof. Because now everyone's thinking, why is he so chill? Does he know something we don't? Is he above this? Did that jab just make him look stronger? You flipped the whole vibe. People aren't focused on the insult. They're dissecting your calm. And calm, when you own it, hits harder than any speech ever could. Machiavelli wasn't just about politics. He was a master of the human mind. He got it. Power isn't what you say. It's what people think you might say, but don't. Now here's the slickest move in the book. Don't just ignore the hit. Turn it into their problem. They call you sneaky. You give a slight nod, look past them and say, that's an interesting take. No fight, no apology, just pure, detached cool. What happens? They trip over themselves. They were ready for a brawl, hoping to see you sweat. Instead, they're left holding their own punch. Doubt creeps in. Did I overreach? Do I look foolish? Am I the one off balance? And yeah, they are. You've taken their energy and made them carry it without breaking a sweat. Pause, let it land. There's a point where silence becomes a pressure cooker, not for you, but for the one who expected a reaction. That's when the tables turn. They thought they were the judge, now they're the one looking desperate for attention. You've gone from innocent to invincible. Machiavelli saw through the noise. Words aren't for clearing things up, they're for clouding them. When someone comes at you sneaky or straight up, they want you to wade into the fog, to get lost in emotional explanations, because the more you explain, the shakier you seem. So let them deal with the quiet. What happens? They overplay their hand. They repeat themselves. They start looking frantic, irrational, weak. You haven't said a word, but now they're the one under the microscope because the crowd isn't hearing the accusation. They're watching who's steady and who's rattled. That's how you own the room. Not by being right, but by being untouchable. Let's unpack this further. Machiavelli's world was the brutal chessboard of Renaissance Italy, where a single misstep could end a dynasty. In The Prince, he drops this bombshell. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Leaders who rushed to kill rumors often fed them looking paranoid. Those who let gossip die on the vine, they became legends shrouded in mystique. Look at someone like Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's go-to example. Slandered left and right, he didn't waste energy denying it. He moved, reshaped the board, and let the narrative bend to his actions. The result? Awe and allegiance, locked in tight. Now fast forward to 2025. Think of a corporate scandal. A CEO hit with allegations of misconduct dives into excuses. The news cycle eats them alive. One who pauses says, "We'll let the truth unfold," and shifts focus. They keep the reins, leaving the press chasing ghosts. Or take politics. Last year's viral moment with Governor Ruiz comes to mind. Accused of ethics violations, she just smiled, said, "Time will tell," and walked away. The headlines, all about her steely resolve, not the accusations. In your own life, a friend calls you out for being fake. Argue back, and it's a spiral of drama. Stay silent, then ask, "What makes you feel that way?" Now they're the one unpacking, not you. This isn't about being cold, it's about being calculated. Emotions blur your vision, strategy sharpens it. On the psychology front, silence messes with people's heads. It triggers what's called cognitive dissonance. Attackers need your pushback to feel validated. Deny it, and they're stuck wrestling with their own doubts. Am I wrong here? That internal fight wears them down faster than any argument. Behavioral science backs this up. Studies on framing, like those from Tversky and Kahneman, show that defending a position highlights the attack, making it stickier. Silence? It starves the attack of oxygen, letting it fade. Machiavelli puts it bluntly in The Prince. Men in general judge more by the sense of sight than by the sense of touch. Defending breaks the illusion of strength. Holding back polishes it. Another gem. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Silence breeds that fear, not of violence, but of your unshakable core. But let's widen the lens. This isn't just Machiavelli's playbook. It echoes across wisdom traditions. Sun Tzu in The Art of War says, "All warfare is based on deception." Silence deceives by denying the enemy a target. Stoicism chimes in too. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. By not reacting, you keep your power where it belongs." Even Zen philosophy, the Tao Te Ching notes, "Those who know do not speak." Quiet is strength in disguise. Machiavelli's just the sharpest knife in this drawer. Now let's get practical. Next time someone comes at you, take a breath. Count to 15 if you have to. Feel the urge to explain? Crush it. Watch their discomfort build. The stutters, the backtracking, that's your win. Want to level up? Try a soft reversal. Called out for being too ambitious? Say, That's a curious angle. It's neutral, non-committal, and forces them to keep talking and tripping. In a group, silence is your megaphone. People gravitate to the calmest, not the loudest. Heads up on traps. This only works if you're truly confident. Fake calm cracks under pressure. Build that inner strength first. Try meditation or writing to get there. Machiavelli warned against extremes. Too soft, and you're a pushover. Too harsh, and you spark rebellion. Mix in some warmth now and then. Be a mystery, not a machine. This mindset flips your whole approach. Stop chasing fair, chase respect. In the power game, staying undefended isn't passive, it's predatory. Embrace it, and watch your critics crumble while your influence soars. To wrap this up, life's a stage, and you're the lead. Don't let others write your lines. Own the scene with what you don't say. If this hit home, think back to a time you tried to defend yourself. How would silence have changed the game? Drop it in the comments. Let's break down some Machiavellian moves together. Thanks for diving into this philosophical deep end with me. Hit that like button if it sparked something, subscribe for more big ideas, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay unstoppable.